Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to The Road to Anywhere, episode 25 of my Journeyman series. As always, thanks for joining me, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time out of a busy day to watch me on my travels around the world. Episode 25, quarter of a century, we were 25 years into the game in a series I thought would last 1 year. 25 years, so thank you for continually supporting it and watching it. You are the people that's kept this going. I've really enjoyed it. I've learnt loads this year. I've been at teams and in countries this year I've never been in, or I've not been in for years. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. So thank you very much for supporting it. Make sure you smash the like button. If you want to support the channel a little bit more, you can pledge to my Patreon. Thank you very much. Right, when I left you last, we were in Holland. Lovely Holland. It's been brilliant. I loved it. FC20, back-to-back titles. We did okay. Had a couple of good runs in Europa League, didn't we? Didn't win the cup, which was disappointing, but built a brilliant team of young Brazilians, superstar Brazilians. Absolutely loved it. But it was time, I think, time to move on. And one thing I've learned is you're always best getting a job now on this game. Don't just resign, because it's well harder. Stay in a job, it's easier to get a job. And that's what's happened. I have a new job. Now, I was offered this job a couple of years ago, and I turned it down. And it's come on me, it came to me again, and I've snapped it up. Didn't even think twice about it. I thought, let's do this, this should be fun. But where, oh where, have I ended up? Yes, I've finally done it. I've stepped out of club management and I've gone onto the international scene. Now, I've said this a million times in the comments. People have asked me if I'm ever doing this, and I said I'll probably do this at the end. So is this going to be the end? Maybe. We're going to see how things go. It's one of them things with the series, you just go with the flow. So it's not necessarily the end, my last ever job. But I have said a million times, I'm not the biggest fan of international management, and I haven't done it for years. So it's the journeyman, innit? I want to learn new things, and I've learned a lot these past 2 years. Because normally this is a year-by-year thing, but this is international management. Things are different. We're going to cover 2 years in this episode, and loads of things have changed with international management. Loads of stuff, and I'm going to try and remember to talk about all of them. So yeah, Holland. 2 years ago after the World Cup, Holland, Portugal and England, I think I told you, all offered me the job and I said no. That was 2 years ago, so it was the Euros, and Holland got knocked out of the Euros, sacked the manager and asked me again. No one else asked me, just Holland. So I thought, do you know what, why not? I've got loads of leagues running. There was just nothing, club-wise, nothing was exciting me now. I think I need a break from the club football. Let things change out there, because if I have a few years as an international manager, players are going to change, new players are going to come through, teams are going to change, things will be different. So if I do carry this on and go back to club football, I might have a fresh, feel for it, a fresh desire for it. So right now I was quite excited, really, to be fair. I thought it's something new, it's something cool. They're 12th in the world, so they're not rubbish, they're not the best either. I know a bit about the country, I've just been there for 3 years. So I had a lot of work to do and I was ready for it. Now, Holland have just played in the Euros recently, and they were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Turkey, getting beat 2-1. Now, I said this, the reason why I went to Brazil is because I was getting better quality young Brazilians cheap. And I couldn't really find many good young Dutch players, but I don't think I looked hard enough. Because once it was my actual job to look for Dutch players, I think I was lazy. I'm going to be honest, I was lazy, and I might have said that as well. I had this brilliant Brazilian shortlist. I couldn't be bothered, could I? I couldn't be asked. But there actually are some pretty good young Dutch players. There are also some pretty good old players. I think what I was going to be struggling with was middle-aged players. Now, when I took the job, I had to have a press conference and I talked about all the usual crap, the boring stuff. But one of the questions they asked me was, it's quite famous now that the Dutch team is getting old. And it is quite old. If you look at it, just over half of them are over 30. This is the last team. This is their Euro squad. What are you going to do about that? And it's nice to say, oh, I'm going to get young players, but I'm not. My philosophy was going to be the best players. I don't care if you're 36 or 16. I want the best players. I want to do well, right? But I also wanted to try and get all the best young players. So I got my little book out and I got to work. But before I got to work, just like I do in club football, I wanted to assess my staff. And one thing that's really improved, you might know, you might not know, in the old days of Football Manager, you had a manager, you could have maybe 2 coaches and a physio. And that was it. It's quite unrealistic. Now you can have a full staff. Multiple coaches, assistant manager obviously, goalkeeper coach, fitness coach, physios, scouts, which is brilliant because I can scout players now. So I had to rebuild that staff. And I also wanted to rebuild this nation. I wanted to get them top 5. That was my aim. Before I leave this job, I want to be top 5. Now 12th, there's no shame in that. We're quite a small country really in Holland. Belgium, our arch rivals, are above us. You know, all the big boys. You've got England, the biggest, best team in the world. Italy, France, Portugal, all those guys, you know what I mean? Below us, Scotland are doing well, aren't they? 17. That's not bad, is it? So yeah, I wanted to obviously improve the nation. Loads of work to do though. We also have this. I forgot about this. Well, you have a few friendlies now, I think. But it's this Nations League, isn't it? And we're in a toughish group. We've got England and Bulgaria, and only one team qualifies from the group. I think you go to a semi-final straight away. I can't remember. I'm not 100% sure how it works. But to get past England, I had no idea how good we were going to be anyway as a team. So I wasn't holding up much hope for this. Now jump forward a bit, up to my very first game, just before I played it. And I've done loads. This was quite fun. I spent a whole evening this week really getting stuck into it. Building a staff, the best staff I could. It's not easy. You can get some good ones and a lot of them don't want to come. So I've got the best staff I could. And when you look at other nations, no one's going to have a staff like me, and I think that's going to be an advantage. But I also really got to work. And what I did was I scrapped my national pool. You know what? Your national pool, you get, it's like a massive shortlist. You can add players to it to select for your squad. It's easy, so you can just go straight to it and select your team from it and find replacements for injured players and so on. And it's massive. It's too big. I wanted to use it as a specific shortlist. So I built a few teams within it. So what I did was scrap it, and then I went through everything. So I went through every team in Holland, right? All the youth teams, finding wonder kids, and I nearly got a full 11 of wonder kids, range from 17 to 19. I was just lacking a goalkeeper and a right back. I had a full team apart from that. So that was a youth team, players I would really call upon. Because one thing I remember, if you give a player his international debut, they instantly like you. You're instantly their favourite person. So that's what I was thinking. If I'm here for a few years, give all these kids a game as soon as you can. Even if it's a minute, they get a cap. They love you. In a couple of years, when you're at a World Cup or European Championships and your team's full of them players, they all love you. You're all your favourite person. They're going to fight for you and play for you. That's the theory. So yeah, I got my Wonder Kid team together. I obviously got an A team, I got myself a B team, and I got a C team. And this is pretty much it, and a few extra ones here and there. So you can see I've got 66 players in it. That's it. Scrapped all the crap. I've got some really good players here. Got some okay ones as well. Now probably easily my best player, to be fair, is Rayan Messaoudi. 28-year-old Dutch right winger. He plays for Paris Saint-Germain, so he's one of the top players in the game at the minute, elite winger. He's 28 years old, so even if I'm here for 4 years, he's only going to be 32, so he's going to be a massive part of my plans. Another important player of mine was Tottenham's Jori van der Berg. Brilliant. He's a great player though, 62 million. Obviously plays for Spurs, can cover on the wings as well. Probably my main striker. Next player I want to show you is called Dave Hoekstra. My best centre half easily. He's 31. So you see what I mean? Like, well, he's a defensive midfielder really, but he's 31 and he plays for West Ham. But this is what I mean. A lot of my elite players are fucking wrong side of 30. So I wanted to use them. I wanted to get rid of some older ones. And I wanted to give young players a chance whenever I could and just like build towards. If we could do anything in the next couple of years, great. But I'm building towards maybe 4 years from now, the next Euros really. I know we've got a World Cup in between, but the next Euros is where I was tagging. So obviously I put the staff together. I've got all my coaches, got fitness coach, goalkeeper coach, got head physio, which I didn't realise, a couple more physios and a full scouting team. So I'm really happy. It's the best I could get. My assistant manager is Rayan Thomas. Do you recognise him? He was my manager at FC20. So he's Belgian. But it was brilliant. His little touches like this I'm happy about. When he signed, he went, I agreed to do it because we've had a great working relationship at the club level. And I think we can transfer that to the international level. So I love that. Little touches like that is what's made this game a bit better. I love stuff like that. So we've got 4 games left this year. And they're all in the Nations League. So yeah, I reckon we can beat Bulgaria. England, though, pretty good. I mean, they're a top 4 team. I've never had the league running, but obviously they're still going to have good players. Nathan Knight, beast, left back and all. Josh Graham, defender, beast. Got Adam Miles, midfield centre, beast. He does beastly. And I turned this job down 2 years ago. Probably win a World Cup with these. Do you know what I mean? Dave Oliver, beast. Wow. Let's check one more. Curtis Morton, beat. What was I doing turning that job down? Tactically, you know the score. It's Volcano all the way. Why mess about? I can't be bothered. Game's too old now. I can't be arsed making tactics and pissing about with them. Bet you can't either. Yeah, so hopefully the Volcano can win us some games. Now I'm showing you 3 of my best players. And I've got more than that. I've got a good first team 11 that could beat anyone, I reckon. If they fit. If they fit, that's the trouble, innit? But I thought I'd show you some of my Wonder Kids. Some of them might not be Wonder Kids anymore. They were Wonder Kids when I first found them. And the first one's called Tom Heiss. Plays for Vitesse E. I'm rubbish at names. Don't moan at me in the comments. But he's got loads of potential. He's of course a Wonder Kid. And the future of the left wing of Holland. Now I love wingers, and what's brilliant is I've got a Wonder Kid right winger as well. Henny van Wyk. How good's he? Super happy. He plays for Ajax as well, so a lot of these youngsters are in Holland still. Don't think they're going to stay there. But we've got some cracking young players. Up top is Bas Schmidt. Now he's a Wonder Kid striker, and he's just gone to Atletico Madrid because I've been playing him, I've been giving him a game here and there. And I just maybe think his reputation all of a sudden took a boost. Played for Herenveen. So I've got Wonder Kids in my front 3. Now I've got Wonder Kids at my back 4, apart from my right back, wasn't it? Always struggled to find goalkeepers. It was my central midfielders that I didn't actually technically have Wonder Kids at, but I've got some really full star potential quality players. I tell a lie, I've got one Wonder Kid central midfielder, Renz Bodart, who should fit my tactic pretty well, to be fair. He's only 20 and he's just made a move to Bayern Munich. So I think a lot of these kids getting into a national team, even though he's not played yet, they're all kicking on now. So I've got this young generation. Like I said, I'm kind of struggling for like 28, 27, 25-year-olds really. So we've got this big gap in the middle. I'm thinking it's because I turned the Holland League on a few years ago, didn't I? So the Holland League's been running now 4 years. So it'll generate loads of players. I think that's what that older generation is. And then it's not had any middle ground players. And now, because the league's naturally been running, all these young players are starting to come through the academies. So I'm excited because a lot of these players are 18, 19, 20. In 4 years, they're going to be 24. So that's why I'm targeting the Euros. But before that, we obviously had the Nations League to play. And look at that. I was well happy with this. We beat Bulgaria, but I expected that. Then we drew 1-1 with England, and I thought, wow, that's pretty good. The right winger, superstar, penalty. Beat Bulgaria 1-0, and then we went to freaking Wembley and beat them 3-2. Could not be more proud. So, of course, we went into the semi-finals. Of course, I had no idea, but we did, and we played Portugal, who are a very, very good team. And remember, have Daniel Job. Remember Daniel Job from Sevilla and all that? Great striker. He's brilliant. Beat him 3-1 in the semis. Arbaleda. I can't say these names. Jurgen, Rayan and Joan. Let's go first name. First name basis. Holland for life. So yeah, 3-1. Happy days in the final. Where we faced Italy and won with an extra time on goal. Happy days. We battered them now. We deserved it. So I've only been here a year, not even a year, and I've won a cup. I don't know how important it is, the Nations League. It's only just started in real life. In this universe, it's been going a very, very long time. A very long time. So, I mean, I was happy. It's cool. It's great on the CV. But I want the bigger ones. And if we look at it, the Netherlands won the very first one. You, of course, know in reality, Portugal have just won it. But the Netherlands won it, and they've never won it again. They came runners-up at the middle point there. Look, getting beat off France in the final. France have been really good in this. But obviously we just won it by beating Italy. Italy, runners-up twice. Gutted for you. I'm not worried at all. And we had a couple of friendlies this year as well, just 2. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, drawing with Brazil, should be proud of it. But I mean, we drew with America as well. I'm trying to give a few different players a game. But I just felt like they really don't care about these anymore. It's like friendlies. Who's bothered? They really are. They're boring to watch. I felt like they're really boring. I felt bored. I bet everyone was just bored. On to the World Cup qualifiers. At this point, I'd already played 2 games. I'll have a look at them in a sec if you want. And we're third at the minute, but we've only played, like I said, 2. Austria played 4 and so have Iceland, but we've got Finland and Luxembourg in this group. If we didn't make it out of this group to a World Cup, then I'm like, bloody hell. I mean, no offence to Austria, Iceland, Finland and Luxembourg, but we are better than you. So yeah, I was pretty confident we could get out of this. And I mean, we'd started well, beating Luxembourg 4-0. Pretty happy with this. I just remembered something pretty cool about this new versions of international management. But first, let's just check Iceland. We beat them 2-1. And now, that thing I forgot. This is Vicente Williams, right? His first name done, but his second name sounds Dutch. He's 27-year-old. He's now got 6 caps, right? And a goal. That's why I remembered him, because I saw his name then. But this is pretty cool, this. Now, if you check his other nationalities, he's Argentinian because he is actually Argentinian. That was his main nationality. We were his second nationality. Now, he's pretty good, I think, right? In the whole scheme of things, he's definitely a top 4 centre-half. Easy in the whole of my national pool, right? And you can now talk to him. So I could say to him, oh, do you fancy switching nations? He's 26 at the time, I think. He's like, no. So I was like, okay. Left it, right? A couple months later, he's still not played for Argentina. You're not going to play, mate. So I asked him again. This time it said he's willing to speak to you. Right? Like, oh, really? How good's this? So you go into like conversation with him and you can say loads. So I was like, mate, you're not getting any younger. Argentina don't look like they're going to ever play you. I will play you. You will get a cap. You will figure for me. And he goes from no to actually let me think about it. And I think it was like 2 days later, comes up in my news that Vicente Williams has decided he's happy to switch nations. I was like, that's well good, because in the olden days, you used to ask him or you try and just say no, and that'd be it. Here we are with the final qualifying table, and I thought we'd not get beat. We did get beat. We drew 1, we got beat, and we won 6, but we bossed this group by 4 points, and that we should. If we didn't, then yeah, it'd be pretty pathetic. So off to the World Cup. Now the game we got beat in was actually our last game against Austria, and I didn't technically even B-team it. I gave a couple of guys a game, and it really was a switch-off moment. And I'm starting to realise this. I don't know if it's a Dutch thing or it's an international thing, but friendlies and unimportant games, they do not care. One player I'm really happy with is Marty Ledsman. I didn't show him you before, but he's another one of my wonder kids, centre half, and played quite a bit for me, to be fair. Really worked his way into the team, even though on paper there's probably a few better players. But I'm really, really excited, and I don't know how much people like to watch international saves or whatever, but I think if I can get 4 years into this to the next Euros, when all these guys are like 23, 24, I've got a really, really promising team of 90% former wonder kids. And even the ones that aren't are still really good. It does show you though, I've got wonder kids at a 3-star potential. And then I've got youngsters who aren't wonder kids with 5-star potential. So I'm never 100% sure how that works. Now at this point, I've just picked my 30-man squad, and this is the same, this bit. You pick your 30-man squad and it's there for a week. You don't have a friendly or anything, you don't have any kind of training session, and then you have to get rid of 7 of them. What's the point then? Do something. They've got to put something in there, I think. Now this is of course my 30-man squad. Well, that's what I mean. Look at the youth there. I mean, I don't know if all these are going to be coming to the World Cup this time, but there's a lot of youth coming in now and really forcing their way in. And just to use Baz as an example, look, although I don't get this bit, why a former manager, I'm not a former manager, I don't get this. Shouldn't it just be manager? Now, you give someone a cap, you go straight on that. You don't have to work for it. You're straight on there. Now, this is the new World Cup, innit? It's changing, innit? I'm guessing it's changing in real life. I've seen it on other things. I've just never played in one on the game. Smaller groups, more rounds, I think it feels like. So there's only 3 of us in the group. We've got Canada and New Zealand. Again, if we don't get out of this group, I'm never playing this game ever again. So the first game was against Canada, and I took a massive risk. I didn't technically, well, I B-teamed it basically. I gave loads of my kid a game. Smit, Heijs, Van Wyk, they're the future of Holland. All played at the front. A couple of guys at the back were young. So we kind of only just did it, but we battered them. So that's all that matters, isn't it? 1-0, come on. For the second and final game against New Zealand, easy group, probably. No offence to the countries, but they're not great. I went full strength. Let's give everyone a game. Let them all feel it. And my guy who I trusted to come back from his injury did by the second game, scored a penalty. Prosman got 2. He's a really good left winger for me. And Vandenberg, superstar striker, scored. He had a great game, to be fair. So yeah, out the group. But also Canada qualified as well. I only thought the top 1 did. So I'm guessing the top 2. See how I'm learning it? It's changed, hasn't it? Let's have a look at Group A. So right, is it top 2 or is it like so many second places make it. Do you know what I mean? Because that makes it well easier, doesn't it? It does make it easier. It's on some of my experiments I've looked at World Cups, you see, and it felt like there's a million rounds. I mean, what, you got a second, a third, quarter final, right? I think there's an extra round in there, I think. It feels like it is. We've drawn Portugal, ranked 6th in the world. They're pretty good. Now, we beat these though in the semi-final of the Nations League. I think it was 3-1. So, we could do him again. Their best player though is one of mine. I love Daniel Job. And at 33, he's still amazing, legendary. You might remember I got him at Seville. I never really got to play with him. He's a bit like Sosa when I got him at O'Higgins and ended up bringing him over to Holland with FC20. And then when I went to Schalke, he wasn't playing, remember, and we got him pretty cheap. And I got him to Schalke and he made a name for himself again. He came straight in and bossed it. A lot of my success at Schalke was because of him. And then obviously his reputation has grown in Germany, and since I've gone, he's gone to Bayern, and he's now been at Bayern longer than Schalke. So he's had a great career, and I like him. Well, let's go on a little World Cup story, and we're starting it off in a pretty good place. I did not expect this. This was the best game I've had yet as the Dutch, Holland, Netherlands manager. If you're from Holland, why is it Holland, Dutch, Netherlands? Is it Netherlands or Holland? Is it like English, Angleterre with the French? I've never understood it. Why sometimes we call them Holland, sometimes we call it the Netherlands. No idea. Maybe you can help me. But yeah, battered them 6-1. Look at Van der Berg. Hey? Hero. The old front three were amazing. It's like they know the time's up, almost. So weirdly, last year we beat Portugal in the semi of the Nations, went on to the final of the Nations and beat Italy. This time we just played Portugal, beat them, and went on to play Italy in the next round. Some weird this game sometimes. And battered them as well. 4-0. The VOLCANO. Not just that, but it's got a really good team. Really good team. Look at me young centre half there. Do you know what I mean? My front three again. Look how good they're playing. They fit this. They like it. They like it a lot. I mean, we've battered them. Look at that. You might not be able to see it now because I'm showing you the goals. But basically, I'm showing you that they had 3 shots and we had 23. We're awesome. They're not. But then it was on to the semi-final. And I can't wait. Semi-final. We've just battered Portugal 6-1 and then beat Italy 4-0. Guess who we drew in the semi-final? Morocco. Morocco. I don't know what to say. I thought we were in the final. Do you know what else is a twat? Our arch rivals Belgium beat Spain and won the World Cup. Belgium won the freaking World Cup. Imagine how good that would have been. I mean, you wouldn't have seen it, but I would have been buzzing off that. Arch rivals in the World Cup final. How did we get... I can't get my head around it. I was undefeated, apart from Austria. Wasn't very important. We've been doing so well. Champions of all the nations. I thought we got... Still fresh. It's still fresh. So, obviously, third place playoff against Spain, which we won 2-0. Yeah, pretty even game to be fair. Well, exciting. Obviously, it's a game that don't matter, but we can beat Portugal, Italy. We can beat England. We can beat Spain. We can't beat Morocco. But to be fair, the nation are happy. They're buzzing with it. The FA are buzzing with it. And to be fair, we're third. You get that on your list. It's an achievement coming third at a World Cup. So, third at a World Cup and Nations Champions. Not that bad, is it? But like I've been saying since the start, I was building towards a Euro. 4 years into a job, I think. It's all about the Euros. I can't wait. Now, you may also notice now the national pool's grown by 9 players. That's because there was a youth intake and we've got 9 really good young players come through the system. So, yeah. I can't wait, I think we could do it. We're going to lose a couple of our superstars. But we're going to be young, we're going to be fresh, we're going to be full of excitement, I think. And, yeah, I'm starting to get swayed by this international football thing. There you go, that is the end of episode 25. Hopefully you enjoyed it enough to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new and go watch the whole series. and go check out all the other videos. Thank you very much. It's international football, so hopefully I've not turned some of you off. I just think it's a good little... I mean, 25 years into this, or even more now, aren't we? We've just put 2 years behind us there. And I'm excited to go for the next 2. I think the Euros will be a good thing. And do you know what? Anything can happen after that. I'm going to just go with the views, go with the comments, and see how long this series can keep on going. But for now, I'm the manager of the Netherlands. And I've actually enjoyed it. It's easier for me. It's been easier this week because I've done all my hard work, and then you holiday quite a lot less games to play. So it's been easier to get into it, and I've really, really enjoyed it. So thank you, as always, for your support. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to watch it. Make sure you go and support the Patreon, help the channel out, help the episode out, smash the like button. Go and give your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your husband, or your dog a kiss. Have a great day, have a great weekend. I love you. You've been amazing. I've been Bood. I'll see you next time.